everyone, and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. Sorry this is not starting right at the very beginning. I don't know if I just didn't record or if maybe I accidentally deleted it when maybe I thought I had put it in for editing. I really don't know. But it's pretty close to the beginning. I haven't done any. All it is the shell. So there's still a lot of things with this that's going to change yet. So other than the shell and the roofing, there's still quite a bit more to go. But anyway, I know I promised a lot of Sims 3 speed builds because I do have a lot of them. But I got a request for a modernized build for Sims 4. So you know how I am about requests. I would much rather get those out as soon as I can instead of putting them in a specific order. So like this house would have been behind probably 10 other builds. So I had decided I was going to get it out real quick. And this takes place in the town that has the festivals. They wanted it on the lot that has the karaoke bar. So I went ahead and deleted the karaoke bar and went ahead and built it. That way I knew it was going to at least have the exterior landscaping and everything for the lot. It can of course be placed anywhere as all Sims 4 builds can because they're all flat lots anyway. But basically what I'm trying here is, you know how I am about modern. It's not exactly a style I normally do, but exterior building a modern, I usually am not too bad. I can at least figure it out. They're not too hard to build, I don't think, at least on the exterior. Now, decorating, well, I wasn't really sure what I was doing when it comes to decorating. So, hopefully the decorating doesn't look too bad. So, and some of you experienced builders are probably thinking, why are some of my windows stacked like they are? That's because I didn't realize that they were glitching out. I do fix them, so don't worry about that. I do get them fixed. I realized later. And then what I'm doing here is, or in some of those sloped ceiling areas, is I thought it would be really neat to have a window that went all the way up. That's why I did 2 rows of windows right there. There's 2 sections that actually do that. I thought that'd be a really neat look to have it, but I wanted it to be kind of like, I was hoping to be able to delete the floor underneath the roof, but you can't, which is kind of crappy, kind of sucky if you ask me. It would have been a really cool idea, being able to delete that floor or the roof of that room and have like this 2-story sloped ceiling area that had windows, 2-story high windows. I thought that'd be cool. So I just put in the dance floor, whatever it is, the glass dance floor. I have no idea what pack or where that came from, but it's the glass dance floor, so I thought that would work. And yes, a lot of my windows end up getting changed because I realized later that they're glitched out. So they do get changed. The landscaping is pretty simple. I was thinking because of the location of this lot, with having the town and the sidewalks and, of course, Sims walking all the way around your house, very lack of privacy, which, if you ask me, I guess a modern with big windows probably wouldn't be the choice of house here. But I thought maybe we could put a fence all the way around. And I also gave it 2 entrances. That way, since there are sidewalks and things like that all the way around the house, then you can exit either way. And they both kind of look like it could be a front entrance. So whatever you decide, you can have either or. They're both set up to be either entrance that you want. It's not really a problem. I was having problems getting the stuff to line up evenly right here. I think I know what the problem ended up being. I don't remember if I actually fixed it. Yes, it looks a little more even. The bushes were actually put in a little bit in a different spot, slightly. Must have been off the square just a little bit. But yeah, not all my corners. I had 2 corners that aren't the same, but I said, you know what? Forget it. I already spent too much time trying to get these to look right, so I just said heck with it. And I'm just going to try to ignore the fact that it's not the same and have my OCD have issues. I have a real huge problem with things not being even, and it did bug me a little bit, but once I got busy doing something else, it wasn't too big of a deal. And then I found these lights. Actually, what inspired me to do these outdoor lights was actually the karaoke bar that was sitting there. But they have them set in like a pink or a red color, and I chose the blue color. I was like, you know what, this would add a really neat accent, and then putting it around some of these windows I thought was really neat. At least I liked it anyway. You know, I just thought that was really cool. I liked it. I was like, you know what, this is a great build to use these lights. So, but yeah, here's where I noticed that those windows were glitched out. So I do change some of them. Now I leave a row of them in the front of the house because I kind of liked the way they looked. The upper windows are open, so you can see through those ones. But the bottom ones are kind of like glitched out, I guess you could say. They just kind of look like maybe a design on the wall. It's kind of what they look like, so I left them. Now the stairs, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. It didn't fill it in underneath, which was kind of strange, and I didn't understand why. I don't know if maybe just because this type of stairs it is or what. So I had decided to do half walls on part of it to kind of give it still an open feel or open look, but at the same time you don't need your Sims falling off one side or the other. And then I wanted to do here a like a wall partition, but you can't have a wall above, so you got like them counters or the cupboards or whatever that are just kind of hanging, and they didn't really have a good wall piece to put there other than that blue one that seemed to work. So that's kind of why I used, because they need something to be attached to, so that's why I put them there. And I kind of like the kitchen. It's definitely modern, and it's blue, because I was thinking, okay, this needs to be for a bachelor. At least I'm assuming a bachelor, because she said a single male Sim. So I'm thinking, what kind of decorating is a bachelor gonna have? I really honestly have no idea. So I really struggled with the interior of this house because it's supposed to be modern, which was already a challenge for me to begin with. Exterior wise, I'm usually okay when it comes to modern, but decorating, I really don't know what I'm doing when it comes to decorating. And then it needed to be for a bachelor, and I'm like, well, I really have no idea how a bachelor is going to decorate. So this house is definitely large. It's definitely plenty big for you to make it into more bedrooms. Just get rid of some stuff or maybe change some walls around or something like that, because it's definitely overspaced, if you ask me. I kind of did something different with these lights. I just want to mention, I kind of put them together. Hopefully, I thought that kind of gave them and offset them. I thought that kind of gave them a nice look. So, but yeah, this house can definitely be changed up into more bedrooms if your bachelor happens to get married and have kids. But yeah, the decorating, I bounce around a lot in this house just because I really didn't know what I was doing. So at first I was mostly just placing objects and just trying to see where I could put them. And then there's plenty of seating for your Sim to have parties, because that's kind of what I was thinking. A bachelor probably has a lot of parties, so I was thinking you have a little table here, kind of like an informal, I guess, area. I didn't really know what to do with this section, actually. I just kind of stuck a few things there. And then you got the formal dining room that, of course, is really big and has a lot of seating. So you can definitely entertain plenty. And I wanted each of the sections of the house to actually kind of be their own space with either a different splash of color or by using like a dividing wall of some sort, but at the same time not closing it off completely. I have seen these walls before on TV in modern houses, and I really like the idea of having a wall, just a wall. It's not a complete wall, just something there to help separate one section, one room from another. And I thought I would incorporate those lights from the exterior in as well. I thought maybe that'd be a nice touch, but of course if you really don't like them lights, they're very easy to delete. So just, you can just easily delete them, not a big deal. Not everybody, I mean, if you ask me, when it comes to modern tends to be a little bit too personal. And it's not always for everybody. You might like one modern house and you might love modern styles, but there's going to be some that you really don't like because they're too personal, and that, in my opinion, tends to happen a lot with a modern house. But so yeah, those lights or whatever, corner lights, are probably be, you know, more on the personal side. I like them, and I thought they added a nice touch, so I left them and continued to incorporate them. And I tried to add paintings. Again, like I said, I'm not really sure what to use when it comes to the decorating, but I do have an idea of the difference between a modern painting or wall hanging and a more traditional type of wall hanging. So I tried using as many of the more modernized type of wall hangings than the others. So here's the other entrance. It's not quite as formal, I guess, as the other one, even though to me this seemed like the main entrance. But of course it doesn't seem quite as main or formal, I guess, but it can be used. It doesn't matter which one you choose. Homes like this would be so awesome if we could actually have actual two-story ceilings where there's no, you know, balconies and things like that. But you know, the roof tends to glitch out, and I really didn't want to mess with it with this house, so I just kind of said heck with it and left it. I tried to add a little bit of splash with color. I don't really know the coloring when it comes to modernized stuff, but I think it turned out pretty good. I think I did okay. It's not quite as full of stuff as what I normally would do. I normally really pack full of clutter and all kinds of things, but in this case, I didn't really know what I was doing or what to do. So the living room is in this area here, and there's that little portion wall that I use. It's more of the greenish color is kind of what I did. But even though with all those windows, you really couldn't see the green, so I added the green into the furniture as well to try to help incorporate a little bit of a color change. I really like this living room. I mean, it's got those big, huge windows. Could you imagine the natural sunlight you would have? Now, of course, I would have to have some major blinds, and I do put something, I can't remember what I put in, but I do put something in because realistically, you would want something there. Otherwise, you'd roast and burn to death with the sun hitting you. Could you imagine falling asleep in a chair and the sun came in and was hit? Oh my gosh, and the sun was hitting you? Oh my, you would like fry. But the windows are awesome. I think this room is so pretty. I love it, and I probably over decorated it, but I just couldn't help myself. I just had to. I love that room. Out of this entire house, that is probably my absolute favorite room. And then up here, I had decided, since it's supposed to be like, you know, like I said, a single male bachelor, he's going to want a workout room. So this is kind of what I did. Just kind of his own space where he can come up here and do his workout and get all nice and buff and impress the ladies and or guys, whichever he's into. And just have release some of his stress from his day at work. So that's kind of what I was thinking here. And this table here that I put here, I was thinking of what you normally do see in gyms that have towels and, you know, I guess here at home would have body sprays or colognes or something to help in case you had to run out awfully quick after working out unexpectedly. You could spritz yourself down real good with cologne so you're not too stinky. Again, this room is also kind of a green, but I think it's a different green from the living room. I can't quite remember, but I think it is. It just feels like a really soothing color. So I really like this color. It's definitely one that you could easily relax in and go to sleep. So it's one of the reasons why I used it. And I used it mostly because of that bed. I put the bed down and I was like, ooh, I like this color. So that's kind of why I used it. I didn't know what to do in that big room, really, honestly, so I just kind of threw some junk down. And again, you would want curtains here and there, especially in the bedroom, depending on where the sun comes in. I have no idea where the sun's going to come in on this lot for sure, but you wouldn't want to wake up to the sun right in your eyes. So there's some curtains, and I just had this idea of a mirror behind the bed for some strange reason. I don't really know, but I tried blacking out that one corner area a little bit, and then I thought windows right there would be really neat. I liked it. I loved the way they look, and then I went back in and I was like, oh crap, that's in the blacked out area. That's not going to work. But I wanted to black that out because it wasn't an area really you can use. Of course, if you want to use it, you can, but I don't really like messing with sharp corners like that in a room. Diagonal walls and stuff is one thing, but a corner like that is a little unrealistic, and it would normally be covered anyway. And I love those mirrors. Oh my gosh, those mirrors were awesome. They had this light over all the way around them. I just thought it was so cool. So I put it in because it looked like a mirror that would just have this light that went all the way around it. I was like, oh, I gotta use that. So yeah, I found a few objects in this build that I don't normally would have used. I definitely wouldn't use majority of these paintings. And I probably wouldn't use that rug, or those mirrors, but oh, that was awesome mirror. I loved it. So I did enjoy doing this build. It did go a lot quicker for me than what most of my builds do, mostly because I didn't really go into quite as extent of decorating. And yes, I realize now that I don't know what I was thinking, but that bar is not usable. I will have it fixed before you download it. So when you download it, the bar will be rotated the opposite direction. That way your Sims can at least get a drink. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet, but because I like the idea of having the bar stools, but I don't think it works. So, and of course, you know me, I'm not really an exterior furnisher, decorator, whatever you want to call it. So there's plenty of space and things for you to personalize the top decks and balconies for you. But here are the screenshots of this build. I love the way the exterior of this house turned out. I love it. I mean, I've never actually sat down and built a modern home. I did a speed build or a boat build one time in Sims 3, but it wasn't really like an actual house. So I've never actually done a modernized house before, and I actually like the way this turned out. It turned out really good, and I'm definitely happy with it. So I hope you enjoyed this build as much as I did building it, and I just like the way it turned out. So don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And make sure you hit the little bell down there by the subscribe button. That way you're at least notified of when I upload. So I will see you next time. Have a wonderful day. Bye.